We're live. All right. What is up, guys? Happy Saturday night, Quest Nation. How are you guys doing tonight? You guys know what time of the year it is? Well, it's pretty much time for most of us for the fantasy football playoffs, right? Most of our leagues. Out of 5 of my leagues, I'm in the playoffs in 2 of them. So it's been a little rough this year, but I want to give a huge shout out to Malone Money Mindset, David Hunter, Midnight McPhee, and Brad Nolan for making the playoffs in our card investor league. Good job, guys. Wish you guys good luck here in the playoffs. Man, it's going to be very interesting. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, guys. I'm here on the quest for football card glory, right? I'm on the quest for football cards, guys. I'm stubborn and I am persistent. And I hear every day is talk about basketball card this and basketball card that. And I know that basketball tip off is in just a few weeks. And that's where all the big card swings will be. But I will be steadfast on football cards. You guys have my word. And the demand for rookie cards of fantasy studs is growing. I see new fantasy gamers getting in to the card game every week, particularly StarStock and some other platforms. So in tonight's live stream, we're going to do some live buying and selling on StarStock. I've got a bunch of new cards added to the inventory. I also want to go over their homepage, and because it's been updated, and I think there's some really cool things that we can do with it. It's very powerful. So I'm excited to kind of dig into that with you guys. And of course, I want this to be an open discussion. I want you guys to put your questions, your comments, concerns in the live chat here. You know, feel free to drop it, man. We're here to have some fun. You know what I'm saying? So let's dig in. What is going on, Angel? Angel in the house. Mr. Brad Nolan. What is going on, guys? I got me a little glass of wine to celebrate, and an actual wine glass. So, you know, fancy tonight, right? And you can see, just as it gets freezing here in Tampa, it warms up. I had to give myself a haircut, you know. No more jacket, no more beanie. What's going on, Michael Ham in the house? South Tampon. Ziggy knows Sports Card Daily. Good evening, Ziggy. Good evening, sir. What's up, Gaming God? Jackson, what's going on, man? Did you get the new sheets? There's something else I want to talk about tonight. Did send out new sheets earlier today. I'm going to pull those up and look at some guys that I'm finding off of those, because it's actually been quite revealing to me. I haven't looked at this data in a few days since prior to last week's games, and it's very interesting. I think we got some really good opportunities here. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Angel. Yeah, we'll see how far we make it on the live stream tonight. But yeah, tomorrow, birthday. And guess what, guys? I don't have to stress out and sweat over a Bucks game tomorrow, because we got the easiest opponent all year. Got the bye week. Oh, man. Yeah, toasting your seltzer. I have to watch your seltzer review, man. I have to watch your seltzer review this week. I hope it's good. Gaming God says, I saw the football update for the ones to watch. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, guys. Jerry. Yes, shovel ready, my brother. New creation, Jerry, out in San Francisco, California area. Shout out to Jerry. I want to show you guys this card that he gifted me on StarStock, and kind of talk about how he gifted to me, because it's really interesting. It's an interesting idea that you guys can take and do with your friends, and we can do it back and forth. It'll be pretty cool. Isaac McQueen, man, what's going on? I'm sorry, McQuown. JJ Bama in the house. Michael Ham says he's got a full Yeti of wine, man. He's ready to go, man. You dug in. Ziggy's driving back from his son's championship flag football. Yeah, I remember playing flag football with old Brad the comeback, PSA 7 Brad back in 5th and 6th grade. That was good times. Oh, there he is. Let's dig in. So yeah, real quick, then I'll just kind of shout out again to Jerry from New Creations out there in California. He wanted to give me this Keyshawn Vaughn. I'll show it to you guys here. Let me go ahead and share my screen and show this to you guys because my activity. And let's see. It's under bots. So basically, what Jerry said, so he gave me this gold optic Kashawn Vaughn 1 out of 10 for 12 cents. And basically, he reached out to me, messaged me, and said, "Hey, I want to give you this card, man." He knows I'm a huge Bucks fan. My birthday, he's got it on StarStock 1 out of 10. He said, "Go in and bid 12 cents so I know it's you." So I found the card, beautiful card, man. I love the way this optic looks. I love how they put the outline around the player. And you know it's got that thick optic feel. I haven't actually held one of the new optics in my hand, but just by looking at it, I really I'm digging this optic. And this is a gold 1 out of 10. Very sweet card. It's StarStock B, but you know what? We'll talk about the grading a little bit. I know some people really feel, especially JJ Bama in particular, he commented, JJ Bama, you know, it feels like he's got a really good eye for grading. I feel like I don't know how bad my eye is for grading, but I feel like a lot of the cards that I have looked at and really kind of like wiped off with a lens cloth made for your glasses and stuff, I feel like should have got StarStock, you know, A's, but a lot of B's are coming back. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. So I think they're just moving so quick. They're going through these cards and they really want to put a premium on the StarStock A's. And I think that it's going to work itself out over time to where down the road they have a much smoother process and maybe they're spending a little bit more time per each card and they have a really smooth, defined process on how they're doing their grading, you know, in their shop before they're putting cards in the vault. So we'll see what happens. But the idea was just, hey, bid 12 cents. It's an odd number. You don't see any bids for 12 cents. Make it 13. Make it 99 cents. You know, you see people putting in 15-cent offers and 50-cent offers or whole numbers. Just make it something weird. Reach out to your friends. Say, hey, I want to give you this card. But bid 43 cents, you know, something wacky that you know it's them, and then you can accept the offer and give them the card. So real quick, let me go back to the comments here. Yeah, I will. Michael Ham. Sorry. Angel, I definitely will. How the pricing works in StarStock. Yeah, we're going to dig into the homepage real quick. Couple more shout outs because in my most recent video, guys, I brought up the fact that StarStock is doing a refer a friend program for everybody now. So if you give, you know, your username to somebody you know, like your dad, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, whoever it may be that's not on StarStock, they want to get into cards. They don't know a whole lot about it, but they do play fantasy football. They do know players, whether it's fantasy football, fantasy basketball, baseball. We all know fantasy football is the best fantasy sport there is. So if they're into any of that kind of stuff, hey, go sign up a free StarStock account. Now, they do have to deposit $10, but they use your username as a promo code. And when they deposit $10, use your name as a promo code, you get $10 added to your account. It's a great way to grow the hobby that we're all getting into. We're having a lot of fun with. So shout out to Les Alex. Les Alex reached out to me and let me know that he signed up for a StarStock account. Use my username as a promo code. I noticed that in there. And then also Robert Rasagan. Hopefully I said your last name right, Robert. But thank you very much for that as well. I think a couple other people, I know I convinced my wife to do it because they also had a contest, and whoever had the most referrals by Friday, they were given another $100 bonus. So I was, you know, definitely you know, trying to compete a little bit. I'm sure that there was guys that probably had a way more. That probably had like 3 or 4. But I'm really thankful for you guys that weren't on StarStock signing up for StarStock because of my video the other day. I think that's really cool. So really thank you about that. Are you guys ready for? Please use code BOSSIM. There you go. There you go. Competition's over. Go use code BOSSIM for $10. So are you guys ready for week 13? Because I know Brad Nolan is, because basically the Detroit is coming to Chicago. If Chicago cannot pull off this win after Detroit scores 0 points against Carolina the other week, I know they finally fired Matt Patricia, but this is a serious bounce back spot for Chicago, Trubisky, the whole 9 yards there. So I'm going to share. I want to look at the matchups real quick, guys, before we dig into the StarStock, because this is going to be relevant. This is important. I just want to highlight some of these games on the schedule here. Cincinnati at Miami at 42.5 over under. Tua looks good to get the start. He's pretty much looks like he's pretty much healthy. Looks like he's going to get the start tomorrow, so that'll be interesting to watch. But it's only at 42.5 over under. So Indianapolis at Houston, a 50.5 over under. I still really like Michael Pittman Jr. He's a guy that we're going to talk about, guy that we're going to look at on StarStock eBay, because Michael Pittman Jr. has been the route and target leader since week 9. All right, since week 9 on Indianapolis. So he's pretty much the clear big body alpha wide receiver on the outside there in Indianapolis. And he's going up against Vernon Hargreaves III this week, which is a bust cornerback that's from Tampa. And I remember when we drafted him, we had him for a couple years. He's terrible. He's a bust. And so he ranks like the bottom 200 of corners in the league. So I think Michael Pittman could have another big game. And we saw that I released that video, I think 2 weeks ago, and we saw a decent game from him, but I really think there's like a big nuclear game coming from. On the other side, Will Fuller was popped for PEDs, and so was a safety. I think it was Bradley Roby on Houston. So I don't know if those are related. Like, how do you not know you're taking a banned substance? But was the doctor giving them something? But it is funny or odd that Will Fuller hasn't had any injuries this year, where he was years prior. Every year he's been injured seriously, hamstring falling off the bone every year. Guys like Mr. Glass, and now all of a sudden, you know, he hasn't been hurt at all this year. Is that the PEDs? I don't know, but he's out. He's suspended for 7 games. So they're going to be looking to Kiki QT. That doesn't necessarily make Kiki QT a good football card investment, because Kiki QT is 26 years old, and he's pretty much been a backup wide receiver to this point. So it's not like, and I talked about this the other day in my video, so it's not like we don't know what to expect from Kiki QT. He may have a good game just based on demand, just based on the fact that there's not going to be anybody else to throw to besides Brandon Cooks and, you know, the running backs. And you have Jordan Akins tight end. But let's face it, Houston's not exactly like playoff contender team right now. And Deshaun Watson, although Deshaun Watson, I think guy's freaking incredible. I'm glad I bought into him when I did. The guy's incredible. If he can ever get out of Houston, or they can really improve the supporting cast in Houston, watch out. Then you got Jacksonville at Minnesota, 51.5 over under. You got Las Vegas at New York, 46.5 over under. It's got to be a bounce back game for Las Vegas here after a 2-loss streak. The Vegas defense, I would be starting them in fantasy. And then on the other side, Denzel Mims. See, that's a guy you want to target investing in, a guy I like because he's got incredible speed burst, 40-yard dash, athletics, incredible. He's just on a terrible team. Can Sam Darnold, though, get going? I think Denzel Mims has been the route and target leader since he's been healthy. So that's something that I'm really interested in investing in this guy before he blows up. Yeah, and I didn't mention this, but of course, on Minnesota, the guy we're going to look at is Justin Jefferson. It goes back to that rookie, that young guy, a lot of potential, athletic profile, good hands, and the future is super bright for these guys. We want to invest in guys that we've seen nothing but really good stuff that could potentially, become super elite, like DK Metcalf, right? Or Tyreek Hill. Then you got New Orleans at Atlanta, 46-point over-under. I'm ready for Atlanta to put up a fight, guys. I'm really rooting for Atlanta in this game. We've seen Taysom Hill now for a couple weeks. I'm rooting for Atlanta. Come on, Atlanta. It's good for the Bucks. Cleveland at Tennessee, 53-point over-under. Chubb and Kareem should smash. On the other side, you got Derrick Henry. You can't stop that guy. I mean, he's got the most rushing yards in the NFL throughout the season. He's a beast. He's a beast, and his cards are elevated because of that. New York Giants at Seattle, 47-point over-under. New York Giants are on a 3-win winning streak, but Danny Dimes is not healthy. Seattle's cruising. DK's the number one wide receiver in the NFL in production, next to Tyreek Hill. Watch out. Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals, 48-point over-under. It's going to be an interesting one. Kyler's got a lingering shoulder. Aaron Donald is super elite, guys. Looking at defensive players, he's got to be on top of your list with TJ Watt. Philadelphia at Green Bay. I'm not even like scrolling because I wrote down my notes on my show sheet here. And we're going to dive into StarStock in just a second, guys. I promise. I'll pop back to the comments. We're going to dive in. I want to go through these matchups because some of the stuff is very relevant that we need to talk about. Philadelphia, Green Bay, 49-point over/under. How much time is left for Carson Wentz? How many more games are they going to let this guy play? Because they really need to see what they have in Hurts. Because Carson Wentz's contract is running out, and you can see that Jalen Hurts' card prices have been rising as a result. He's been getting snaps in the first-team practice squad. He's been basically prepping to take that starting role here pretty soon. I mean, they've got a losing season. They've now fallen well behind the Giants and the Washington, almost the Redskins, but the Washington no-name football teams, footballers. So Jalen Hurts should, if Doug Peterson is worth his weight at all as a head coach, and for what they pay him, he needs to see what they have in Jalen Hurts. Then you got New England at the Los Angeles Chargers, 47-point over/under. New England is 1-4 this year in away games. I love me some Justin Herbert. Dude's a badass. I like Herbert to smash in this game. Definitely bounced back from last week, where it was just like, there was one point last week against Buffalo where it was like turnover, 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 turnover. It was pretty hilarious if you guys are watching that game. Denver at Kansas City, night game. Denver's excited to get a quarterback, just any quarterback. They'll take a quarterback. But come on, it's Kansas City Chiefs. You saw what they did to my Buccaneers defense last week. They're going to smash regardless. I mean, one card we're going to look at is Tyreek Hill. Because if you compare Tyreek Hill to DK Metcalf, I think anybody here in this chat, me, you, all of us, pretty much predicting at this point Kansas City is going to the Super Bowl. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated, but Big Ben is questionable right now. I just don't know if they're going to have the juice, the offensive juice, to get through Kansas City, because I feel like even though Pittsburgh defense is so good that they're just not going to be able to stop Kansas City's offense. That's just how good they are. So we're going to look at Tyreek Hill's selects. We're going to look at Tyreek Hill's optics prisms. Compare that to DK Metcalf. I think that's a very good comparison you can make. We got Monday and Tuesday games this week as well. Crazy game with a game on Wednesday. You got the Dallas and Baltimore game for earlier in the year, rescheduled to Tuesday, 45-point over/under. Nothing special there, but you do get Lamar Jackson back just in time because RG3 did not last long. You got Buffalo at going back to Monday night. You got Buffalo at San Fran, 47-point over/under, 8:15. Washington at Pittsburgh, 43.5 over/under, 5 p.m. game. Yeah, you know, Pittsburgh being the only undefeated team left. Washington fighting for that NFC East against the Giants. And my boy Antonio Gibson. I really like the way this guy looks. We're going to see what happens. Let's go, guys. Let's dig in. Let's go, Falcons. Brad, let me catch up with the chat here. I'm really Washington. Do you think I can use the code? No, that's okay. I appreciate the sentiment, though, Angel. Fuller is just a cheater. You very well could be right, Bark. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while, but you very well could be right. He's popped for PEDs, and it's like the first year, no injuries. So, yeah, man. And him, Shelly, what's going on? Yeah, Shelly. Will Fuller's hamstring has been falling off the bone every single year except for this one. And he's popped for PEDs. Coincidence? I think not. I remember mocking my Giants. Were they going to make the playoff? Ooh, big bold statement there. They've got to win this weekend, so it's going to be interesting. Eric, what's going on, brother? Easy explanation. Eagles O-line just as bad as Bengals O-line. Wentz uses mobility. Unfortunately, he doesn't as much. Eagles O-line just as bad as yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Wentz has had to scramble a lot. Yeah, the Eagles O-line has been terrible. Let's look. Let's look, guys. Let's dig in. Remove, stop screen, share screen. Tracy McSorley threw a dime to Marquise Brown. Well, Tracy McSorley probably's got better passing accuracy in the pocket than Lamar Jackson, who's been terrible this year. StarStock. All right. So first things first, guys, let's check out the StarStock homepage. Let's talk about this. Featured cards. We don't want to see that basketball. No, I don't have anything against basketball. I'm just stubborn, and I'm pretty much a one sport guy. So featured cards. These are just like a hodgepodge of the hottest, latest, or most traded cards. You see them right here on the homepage. I haven't done anything special, just starstock.com. You know, you got your marketplace collection, watch list, activity tabs at the top in your profile. Then they have like their news bulletin. Then you could search card, player, team. And then you have your sports. I like coming down here and clicking football. And then you can see the featured cards. It kind of gives you, and they have these little things at the bottom. So I have basically 5 pages of featured cards. Not really my favorite section. Not really. I'm finding a lot of intel on that. Newest arrivals. I think it's cool. Not really getting a whole lot of intel off of that either. Let me just go back here. Okay. I want to make sure that you guys are seeing this good. And boom. No, never, man. Never, man. I'm a diehard. So new arrivals, not getting a whole lot of intel out of that. Upcoming action. This is brand new. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. These guys are software savvy at StarStock, and they're listening to the customer. They're listening to us, the end users, on what we want to see. If you get an email from StarStock with a survey, make sure you are taking that survey and giving your feedback, because they're actually listening. So this is our opportunity to mold this platform and mold this experience. And I like this. Check this out. So right here now they've got one eye on the game, one eye on the market. It's beautiful, beautiful. They're helping me do, you know, put out better content by creating stuff like this. So literally I could have just came here and shared this instead of going to NFL.com and looking at the schedule and talking about the players in those games that I would potentially target. This is cool, man. This is really cool. As limited intel is basically just picking 4 players that are, yeah, like I see. So look, no Denzel Mims on here, but he's definitely going to be involved. What Jets are just going to lay over? I know they have a terrible supporting cast outside of Denzel Mims. Jamison Crowder, Chris Herndon, Sam Darnold. Oh man, it's a rough situation. Jets definitely a terrible defense. Smash spot for everybody on Las Vegas. I want to see who they highlight here. Kirk Cousins, yeah, they know Justin Jefferson. I definitely would be targeting him over these guys. And the reason why I say that over James Robinson, because James Robinson doesn't have a whole lot. He was an undrafted free agent. So he didn't get put into the mosaic. He didn't get put into the Donruss. He didn't get put into probably not the prism, unless they wised up and they saw, oh, this dude's good, and put him into the prism. But very limited selection on James Robinson. Basically, leaf metal draft. The draft picks deal, autograph, a lot of autograph because there's just not many of them. Yep, see, no Michael Pittman Jr. on players to watch there. And see, from my experience and what I've seen, and I think what you guys have seen as well from the beginning of the season, is the focus goes to the players that we have not seen their play from, right? The unknown. It's because people are investing because they don't want to miss out. They don't want to miss out on the next DK Metcalf. They don't want to miss out on the next Calvin Ridley or Alvin Kamara or Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson. They don't want to miss out. And if you're unfamiliar with a player and they're young, they're very young, so you haven't seen a lot of play from them, they're new to the NFL, that's where their prices jump. And we've seen it. I've seen it happen in probably a dozen players since the beginning of the year. Maybe not a dozen players, but definitely saw big time in Claypool, prime example. Saw it a little bit in Michael Pittman Jr. After that game that he had, I made the video. He did have a pretty decent game. Saw it a little bit on here. But I'm being fully transparent with you guys on what I'm seeing, what I'm finding, and what I'm targeting, what I'm buying, what I'm selling. We definitely saw it with Justin Herbert. We saw it with Joe Burrow before he got hurt. The list goes on. We saw it with T. Higgins. We saw it with now this is a guy. Quarterbacks are an exception to the mold if they're playing really well. I saw Ryan Tannehill's rookie cards go up from the beginning of the season because it looks like Tennessee is going to roll right into the playoffs. They've got a powerhouse offense with, great supporting cast. Got one of the highest supporting cast efficiency ratings in the league. A.J. Brown's a stud. Jonnu Smith's a stud. Derrick Henry's a stud. Corey Davis is coming into prime. The O-line's still solid, and Ryan Tannehill has been flourishing in that system. So the defense has been mediocre, but with their power running game, setting up Ryan Tannehill for the play action pass to A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, Corey Davis, it's looking good for them. So I've seen his prices go up, and that's going to be an interesting game. That's going to be one of the better games tomorrow because Cleveland's playing really well too. A lot of that's coaching, man. Look, they improved the O-line. They brought in a new coach. They've just hammering Chubb and Hunt and setting up Baker for the play action pass. And Jarvis Landry's been so like a good example would be, okay, if we want to see if non-rookie players are moving, even though they've had really good performances, then we'll look at Jarvis Landry because he absolutely smashed last week. If you look at Jarvis Landry's box score from last week, let's see. And I have some of these in here. Topps Chrome. Let's just go straight to the Prism. Latest sale, $8. Actually, maybe it is moving. See, this is what gives me really good hope because and optimism for the football card market. As you look at last week, Jarvis freaking Landry, Juice, as Les Alex taught me his nickname is, had 11 targets last week for 8 receptions, 143 yards, and 1 touchdown. 143 yards and 1 touchdown, almost 30 fantasy points. And then you go, which was the number 3. So he was the number 3 wide receiver in fantasy last week in the NFL. So what did his chart do? Okay, so StarStock A, it's kind of been bouncing up and down. It's pretty much at that $8 price point. Where was it 10 at the beginning of the season. So see, guys, if this was, you know, a rook, if Jarvis Landry was a rookie and we never saw his play before and he emerged on the field, Cleveland did that last week, it's going to go up. It's going to go up prior to what his card was at the beginning of the season. I don't know, it would have gone up to maybe $15 or something like that. Definitely obviously gone up a little bit here, but not really like it should have for his potential now for the rest of the season. Odell Beckham Jr. is out. It's Jarvis Landry is going to be the alpha. He's going to be the #1 target leader in Cleveland in the wide receiver corps. So this is a prime example. It's a prime example of really cool section. I haven't seen that yet. So that was cool. This is a little discovery for both of us here. So they got the games. Today's most traded. I like this. So you can see this is awesome, dude. What platform gives you this kind of intel that literally show you the most traded sold cards right now? So I'm going to go back to this today's most traded because I want to look at this latest sales. Literally 9 minutes ago, someone bought a StarStock A Christian Kirk for 50 cents. Looks like 3 of them. Literally 15 minutes ago, someone bought a StarStock A Austin Eckler for $8. That's promising. I like that. Austin Eckler is back healthy now. He's in a good offensive system with Herbert, and they're in a good spot tomorrow. That's a target I like. So that shows me right there. So by looking at these latest sales, I'm able to identify how the market is moving. And as we get more people on a StarStock, this type of information is absolutely invaluable, guys. Of course, no surprise there. StarStock A. But guys, this is a select of the #1 running back in the NFL. Maybe some of you guys will debate me on this, but he does have the most rushing yards and not quite touchdowns, but definitely he's right. He's like 1 touchdown shy. I could pull up my sheets and we could look at the stats on that. But Derrick Henry, absolute just beast. And let's see. Oh, I've actually got 2 of those. I didn't even know I had 2. What did I buy him for though? So let's see where I bought mine at. Okay, I bought mine at $8. I don't even have them listed because, yeah, I remember when they were at 8. I was like, oh, that's way too low. And now they're at 11. And I don't see why they would not keep going up with Tennessee making the playoffs. And he's going to keep trending up. He's the #1 running back in the NFL on a team that feeds the ball to him. They have a power run offense. They're going to keep feeding the ball to him. He's a staple, guys. He's a staple. He's a beast. So you can see there Sunday, December 6th. It's not December 6th yet. It's not my birthday yet. We still got 2.5 hours. But $11 there on the StarStock A. Let me pop back over, see what you guys are talking about. Malone, shout out. What's up, man? I'm still alive in my pick'em league. I'm going with Finns. You think that's a W? Yeah, that's definitely a W, dude. Dolphins definitely a W tomorrow. I think that's pretty much a lock. What's going on, Got Sports Cards? Man, I appreciate all your support. New card channel here, guys. Go check him out. Show this guy some love. He's cracking some packs over there. He's making some content. Yeah, pretty much, depending on where you live. You could maybe, if you lived in LA out there with PSA 7, Brad, you probably, the box of a box of Prism would be half of a mortgage, right? Or maybe a third of a mortgage. But over here, outside of the city, in the suburbs, you know, I'm actually in the city, so that's probably, it's a little bit less, but it's right there. I mean, yeah, it's friggin' expensive, depending on what kind of box you get. I mean, those first off the line hobby boxes closed at right at $1,000 is when I saw them disappear. So, I mean, this is a great idea. I saw a post on somebody's Twitter today. Was it Ziggy's? It might have been Ziggy's. Somebody's Twitter. Or no, maybe it was a Card Dojo. I can't remember whose Twitter it was I saw, but like, if you thought retail is going crazy for football Prism now, you look at the release schedule for basketball coming up in February and March, Prism, Optic. It's going to be nuts. If you think it's crazy for football now, and I'm hoping that a lot of the attention will shift to basketball and people will be, I'm sure they'll be trying to get that as well, but maybe on the secondary market, not the store. I don't ever expect to find anything at the store anymore, but maybe on the secondary market, I can get Prism football for a little bit cheaper. Or certainly Mosaic. Like, I'm a big fan of Mosaic. I like the way Mosaic looks. I like the fact that it's a difficult grade, because if I have a StarStock A Mosaic, I'm hopeful that's going to come back and return a good grade. And Mosaic being the baby card that was born out of the COVID year, I feel really optimistic about its value holding and going up long term, Yeah, dude, Jarvis Landry is so underrated. But yet Eric, you still see his Prism rookie card at $8 compared to, other guys. Like, I mean, it's just, you would think it would go up, to at least that $20 price range, something like that, StarStock A category, based on his performance last week and his projection for the next upcoming games. But it just hasn't. It's because we've seen Jarvis Landry. We know he's good. We know what he's capable of. We know what his ceiling looks like. We know what his floor looks like. We know what his ceiling looks like. We don't know what Michael Pittman Jr.'s ceiling looks like. We have question marks around Phillip Rivers, but the same thing with a guy like Antonio Gibson. We don't know what his ceiling looks like. He hasn't achieved it yet. We've basically seen what their floors look like, and we're like, well, if this is James Robinson's floor, Antonio Gibson's floor, Justin Jefferson's floor, what's their ceiling? It could be crazy. It could be super elite, like DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, these other guys. And I mean, even look at Mike Evans. I mean, Mike Evans has been playing really well, in my opinion, and I know I think he got a little banged up last game, and our whole offense has just kind of struggled to gel together with how many options Brady's had, and the Antonio Brown addition. Antonio Brown definitely not the spring chicken he used to be. Still really good, obviously. That whole situation is really interesting, and Prism football will not dip. Michael Ham says Prism football will not dip. Class is too good. Mosaic is cheap and is awesome. Yes, sir. I love that comment because I'm all over Mosaic, and that's what I'm counting on. All the focus go to Prism, basketball. I'm on Mosaic. I'm going to be hammering Mosaic. So I'm going to go back to Powell. Let's go back to StarStock because I'm hammering Mosaic. So prime example. Talked about. Let's go back to the homepage one more time and see if they have anything else new on this homepage that we missed. Got the games. Today's most traded. I think it's cool. Who are people on? And some of this stuff is interesting. We got 13 trades today on Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb have an incredible comeback from injury earlier in the year. Chubb, Kareem Hunt being touted as the best running back duo in the NFL. I'm on board with that notion as well. As far as a duo, my number one's still going to be Derrick Henry, but then after that, I love Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt combo. It's good. What's Baker at? Baker's at StarStock A at 11. I think that's got room to go up. Anthony Miller, 7 trades. Look at this. Someone sold a Justin Herbert at $2. Someone took an offer at $2. Isn't that funny? Wow. Someone's November 29th, November. Yeah, people are liquidating those draft picks, especially like Ziggy and I have talked about. Guys that are breaking a lot of cards. I'm going to come back to this chart real quick and show it to you guys. But guys that are breaking a lot of cards, they're putting, their excess cards on here and selling them off because there's no fees to list and there's only a 5% transaction fee and no fees to cash out. with ComC or eBay, you're paying a fee every step of the way. So hands down, they're like, oh, that's a no-brainer for me. And so in return, they're like, I don't care. I'll take a couple dollars for that card. They've got their 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 autograph Prism Disco that they're super excited and happy about. And that's like everything else to them is just like, you can have it pretty much. They'll take it because the fees are so low. And it's so easy for them to sell, so definitely good for us buyers that want to invest and flip on StarStock because that's opportunity. If I can get that card for $2, Justin Herbert, even if it is a draft picks, I'm going to take that. I don't see that really going down in value. But this is interesting. Latest sales. See, it's refreshed. Let's see. Do one of you guys just buy David Njoku 8 minutes ago, attacking that Cleveland offense? Wait, Njoku. Yeah, no, they got a hooper now. I don't know, guys. Can't remember. I have to look it up. This is interesting. Jonathan Taylor, Kamara, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, see, someone's saying, dude, Dwayne Haskins at $2, even though he's not starting right now. Still pretty young. Is Dwayne Haskins a bust? Maybe. Kind of looks like he is, but I don't know. For $2, not very much downside, a lot of upside. QB. Marcus Mariota, same thing. Derek Carr gets hurt. Marcus Mariota could succeed in that system. StarStock B, Justin Jefferson, showing some more demand around him. I think he's one of the top talents of the 2020 draft. Devin Duvernay, special teams guru. Here we go. Some people on those MIMS, man. Look at that. A base MIMS A selling for 60, 65 cents. There's more hype building around him. Chenault, Swiss Army knife right there. Is he running back? Is he wide receiver? He's both. He's Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. Guy's supposed to be a yak monster. We've yet to see it. Gardner Minshew's been struggling with this damn injury for feels like the whole season now. Dang thumb or something. So I'll be happy when he gets back to 100%. Although Mike Glennon didn't play bad. Mike Glennon always kind of showed up and played for us as well in Tampa. Yeah, I was a Mike Glennon fan for a little while. I think comeback Michael Hamm would agree with me as well. So yeah, that's the latest. There's a lot of intel. Like I said, guys, latest sell, a lot of intel to get from there. Week's most traded, a lot of more intel, tons of intel to get from here. And it's like, okay, Kiki QT. You can see, even though the Houston Texans are not, dude, if they make it into the playoffs, it's going to be a miracle. All right. And but because Kiki QT is going to see a ton of action, these cards are super cheap, based on risk. People are like, okay, buy them for 45 cents, sell them for $1. I've seen guys take that angle. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a very viable strategy because if you buy 60 of them and you're going to make $30, like, okay, why not? And then you take that $30 and you roll it into a better card. You roll it into a Derrick Henry, so strategy to look at, guys. And yeah, maybe people are not feeling comfortable spending $10 on this rare Kiki QT card, or even $5 to $10 on an Optic or Prism Kiki QT, but they will spend 45 cents on a base Donruss, and they will spend $1 on a base Donruss if Kiki QT goes out tomorrow and has 10 receptions for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, kind of thing. DeAndre Swift, really good talent there. Dude's got an illness now. Looks like he's going to miss his 3rd straight week. But I see why people are trading him, because really good talent, 34 trades. But when you notice here, guys, 2020 rookie, 2020 rookie, 2020 rookie. Next page, Ronald Jones. It's in the top 10 rushing leaders in the NFL right now. Ronald Jones played really well for us so far this year. Dropped some passes. Yes, he's dropped some passes. And at times I'm like, why did they not have Fournette out there? But at the same time, like when Fournette recently has been given opportunities. He hasn't looked nearly as good as he did before he got injured in the first game of the year. Whenever he got his opportunity and he exploded, hasn't looked anything like that since. So it's like, come on, all right. So Ronald Jones, I get that, but still $1 base. These are very low end sales. We're talking about 2020 rookie, 2020 rookie, 2020 rookie, 2020 rookie. There's probably one of the most hyped up wide receivers for good reason, guys. You see that catch where he was horizontal on his back catching the ball. I mean, looking good there. Hey, there's your Trace McSorley. There's old Trace McSorley right there, man. His cards have definitely gone up. So hey, it's real, especially for the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are always going to be exception to the rule. Jordan Love, he's like just chilling right now, just chilling. Rodgers in that MVP consideration, definite playoff team, 8-3. Christian Kirk, all right, I could see that. I would love to see Cliff Kingsbury call a little bit more variety of offensive plays and schemes there. And clearly, Kyler Murray's dealing with that little lingering shoulder injury, which I think is impacting their performance there. And I think he needs to mix it up. I think Cliff Kingsbury needs to come up with some more creative plays. But to wrap up this week's most traded sales, T. Higgins, J.K. Dobbins, Isaiah Coulter, Trace McSorley again, 3 out of 4 2020 rookies again. Russell Wilson, base tops. Well, that makes no surprise there. Obviously, we know it's the hottest QB in the NFL right now next to Mahomes. Calvin Ridley, that's promising. Julio struggling with injury again, and Julio is, man, he's really doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of time left. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame, but Julio looks like, he's kind of on the downhill slope there, man. Antonio Gibson, no surprise there. Check out that base Donruss getting up to $4, from $4.75. 23 trades, and people are just buying them and taking them home because look at that base Donruss, only 4 for sale. It should be way more base Donruss than that. So you can find some Antonio Gibson. I really like Antonio Gibson too, especially after doing some in-depth research. So that's it for the homepage. Powerful, powerful, powerful homepage, guys. From there, I'm going to pop over into my activity. I'm going to show you guys. I'll show you guys what I bought. I mean, the Keyshawn Vaughn, the gold, the Antonio Gibson. I showed you guys in that video for $5.50. Sold that for $10. Dalvin Cook for $10. This Colin Johnson, interesting player there in Jacksonville. And guy's a big body wide receiver, 6'6". The dude's 6'6". Big body wide receiver, 2020 rookie. And it looks like he's got potential, man. From what I've been studying on his athletic profile, just the speed score, the height, the weight adjusted speed score, looks good. And for this to be a black 1 out of 50 autographed, I paid $2 for it. $2 for it. It was the only one on there. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to grab that. Little downside. This DK Metcalf, I paid $5 for it, even though it's StarStock B. Scenarios like this where there's only one in the vault, one for sale, even though it's an insert, it was on here before they stopped taking inserts. To get this card for $5, he's at that level where it being, the super elite wide receiver that he is, he's at that level where a card like this, I feel very comfortable getting, especially single-digit range, right? It's things to look out for, even though it's a StarStock B. Johnny Smith, StarStock A, silvers. Of course, everything that year was silvers. This is going back to the beginning of December. Yeah, I bought a few of those. I like Johnny Smith, yards after catch. There's a beast. Ronald Jones, I paid a little bit too much for these, but I wanted them. So as a fan, as an investor, there was definitely a personal collection value built into that StarStock A Prism Ronald Jones for me. As you can see now, the StarStock A's latest sale 8 from 750. I bought mine at 8 there. 10, 11 even. I bought 2 more. I bought one at 10 and one at 11. So I kind of bought right here. This was me right here. So I bought right here. And you could see, though, even at the beginning of the season, the way Ronald Jones is playing, beginning next season, he'll be back up. So I'm fine holding it because of the personal collection value in it. But look how where it's at now. We're talking baseline, guys. Baseline, going all the way back to June, July. So, shoot. Where are they at? 750. See StarStock B. So this is a scenario where I'll come in here. Yeah, so I'll come in here and do a quantity of 2, and I'll do a quantity of 550. See, boom. See if I can get me a couple more for 550. So I'll show you guys what I sold recently this month. I just took an offer in the system. I'll show you guys my pop over to my collection in just a second. Right here, we're on this activity tab. We were on the marketplace. Now we're on activity. And Derek Carr, StarStock B, Antonio Gibson, StarStock A. That was just the other day, the one I was telling you guys about. That was my Antonio Gibson base Donruss for $3.99. Shoot, now that thing's going for almost $5. The Jordan Love StarStock B for $1. You know, what's nice about having bought those complete sets of base Donruss is I had basically 2 of every single 2020 rookie in the system. So I was able to get those notifications on my phone when one would sell. I'd get an offer for one, and I'd kind of be able to see how the market was moving on those. And as you can see, I have a lot of cards in the system, a lot of all football cards. I think actually I have one. Actually, I think I have one basketball card that I bought from Beckett Marketplace, a Trae Young back in the day, and I think it's still on here, so I put it up pretty high. But Justin Herbert, StarStock A, 25-2. The Jalen Hurts, Antonio Gibson canvas, which in hindsight I would have raised that up for higher, knowing that canvas is a shorter print run than the base. And there's definitely not nearly as many of them for sale on here. So you can see most of the focus out there's that Trae Young. That was a StarStock B. That was my other one. I have a StarStock A of those I put up on there too. I had 2 of them I got from Beckett Marketplace back in the day. So yeah, this is going back to November. I mean, it's mostly 2020, guys. Like I said, mostly 2020. So go to my collection. So the other collection tab, this is a tab that I think that they can improve upon because I got 770 cards owned, 266 for sale. I would like to be able to see newly added to my collection. So I would like to have this tab here, but then part of this screen, I would like to have newly added to my collection. So I can sort unlisted, right? But this is not a good view for me to say, okay, I don't know how many Stephon Diggs, Johnny, you know, I don't know. So I need to see what grade they are. I need to see how many I have of them for sale. Like so this view is better because I can see, you know, I have StarStock A, I have 2 cards, I have 1 of 2 listed. I would love for them to add right here what I've got it listed for. Very simple, I think, add. So these are things that I put in my recent survey to StarStock. If you're watching right now, guys, I'd love you to add just right there, just right where I'm hovering my mouse. Just show me in my collection here how much I've got that one listed for, how much I've got these listed for. Because I don't want to have to, for example, the Kenny Galladay, he's coming back. So now I can see I've got 1 of 2, and I can see what the other listings are. But then I got to scroll all the way down, Oh, I've got mine listed for $39.99, and the best offer is $10. If they could just put that You could just put that one little box right here, this right here, back on the other screen, right there in that big empty white space. That would be perfect. So yeah, so these I 6 DJ Moore, StarStock B. I'm just gonna list one, see how it does. There's my Ronald Jones. Gallups, don't really expect any movement on him until next year when Dak comes back. Gardner, I don't really expect any movement on him until he gets 100% healthy and starts doing some stuff. David Montgomery. I got 4 of these and none of them are listed. Dude, he should have a bounce back game tomorrow. Looking at his chart, his peak in the beginning was 10. Honestly, I'll take anywhere. I'm not getting greedy on this. You know what I'm saying? Latest sale 324 for sale from 410. Not many offers. If you look at the buyer offer, they kind of really click that buyer offer button. They're going up really slow, you know, like 1 for 410, 1 for 420, 5 for 450, blah, blah, blah. So literally, if I list mine for 5, there's got to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them bought before they get to 5. So it'd be rough for me. Maybe he's gonna have to explode tomorrow, which I hope for Brad Nolan's sake he does, but could not happen. I don't know. So I'll just throw in my first one at $4.99 because put myself there in the pack, you know, and see what happens. But then from here, my best strategy is just hit the back button and it takes me directly back to this screen where I was. Darius Slayton, Travis Fulgham, got 4 of those, so gonna leave those where they're at. Noah Fant, Austin Hooper, those are all Bs, unfortunately. Talk about the grading. I'm gonna have to pop back over to the comments. There's my Will Fullers. I got two A's and 4 B's. I don't really see anything happening with him now until next year. Let me pop back over to the comments to see what you guys saw. Yeah, guys, if I had more time, I was going to set up my second monitor so I could see your comments at the same time I'm in the StarStock screen. Angel says, do you think they will take on any additional sports? For instance, I'm a NASCAR fan. They will. Yeah, Scott, the CEO of StarStock, was on my channel. And Scott basically said if they get enough requests for another sport, whether it's golf, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's whatever, I don't know, because they added hockey, they added soccer, right? Or no, hockey they need to add, right? So they don't have hockey yet, but they have soccer. So yeah, if he gets enough requests for it, they're gonna add it. Psycho, what's going on? Psycho in the house. Michael, any specific card you recommend? Any specific cards of Burrows you'll be buying? Yeah, I may be buying mosaics. What did Michael Ham say? Yeah, there you go. Prism Optic rated rookie mosaic for any rookies. Beautiful answer. Hey, Jackson Klein, what's going on, my man? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, your brother's birthday is tomorrow, too. Cool. Tell him I said happy birthday. Maybe, Shelly, maybe $2 was a gifting, but $2 is a very standard number. If you're going to gift something to someone on StarStock, I would recommend you do what Jerry did for me, and that's make it a really weird number that nobody would ever guess, like 12 cents or 17 cents or 28 cents. Bid 28 cents on this card and I'll give it to you. You tell your buddy. Poor Brad. I bet taking that $2 raw was an accidental click of a mouse, something yeah, classic PSA 7 Brad move there. Cool. Versetti, what's going on, man? Why only mosaic? Well, just because of all the focus being on Prism right now, and it's a Chrome card, right? Mosaic is a Chrome card, and it's a card that was born this year. It's the first year of Mosaic. And if you really studied the market going back, what we've seen is there's demand for first year cards of Prism, there's demand for first year cards of Select, first year Optics. So this being the first year Mosaic, this also being 2020 with such a deep rookie class and the COVID year and everything else, we believe that Mosaic is going to be a collectors and investors targeted set for years to come. And I think that right now, especially after the season ends and just Joe Burrow's injury is just going to be really drug out. I mean, potentially he could miss till he could not be back until 2022. And then you've got, obviously a quarterback, maybe Trevor Lawrence, maybe somebody else going 2021 draft, first, round, first pick, taking a lot of spotlight away from Joe Burrow. Even if spotlight's still on Prism, Joe Burrow is going to be really cheap to buy in a Mosaic set, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a good point. They really focused on the primary rookies too. Eric says, I love Mosaic. First pack break I did. I got a nice, man. Very nice. Very nice. Pow. I'm going to pop back over to my StarStock, y'all, and looking at my collection. Prime example, why not? I got to list some of these Derrick Henry selects and see what they're at, because $13.99, latest sale $10.95. They're on the move, y'all. 17 in the vault, 5 for sale. If I look at that buyer offer, they go 2 at $13.99, then 14, 15, and 50. So it's a scenario where I'm really tempted to just gobble all 4 of those up at $15. This is where I would go. See, it's on the climb up. Obviously, these cards are going to keep climbing. And I bought mine at 8. So right now, with that buyer offer being at $13.99, I'm going to list mine at $14.99. I'm going to list mine at just one of them too. I'm not going to list both, because if he goes out, I mean, obviously we know his ceiling could be 250, 300 yards. Who knows? 4 touchdowns. So, but something that I'll do is let me stop screen share and share a Chrome tab and go to eBay, because something that I will do that I think is important is to look at 2016 select Derrick Henry and see what his cards are typically selling for on eBay. And that's a select concourse, I believe. Yeah, concourse. So I need to refine my search and do a select concourse. He's arguably definitely my favorite running back. So I like how ComC pulls him in, and Brad loves to use that as a big pro of ComC, sure, but you're gonna pay you're gonna pay whatever percentage going in. 50 cents will list your card. You're gonna pay 5% on transaction. You're gonna pay 10% on cash out. You're gonna end up paying triple in fees of what you would pay on StarStock. Is that worth the API of eBay bringing their ComC listings over as a buy it now? I don't think so. Not with the rate at which StarStock is growing. But anyways, they start at $15.47 and go to $29.99 on ComC, as you could see here from eBay. And maybe if you logged into ComC, maybe that would be like $14.50 or something. A little bit of a discount, I think, there. Let's see. Let me look at this and try and find PSA 9, Prism, silver. All silvers that year, but 170, 20. There you go. 20. That one looked good. There's a buy it now for $10.45, but $4 shipping. Damn. That's the beauty of and risky. I'd rather just go StarStock and pay $13.99 for a StarStock A. And as we know, Select has a lower print run than the other base sets. So that was all the buy it now. It's not a whole lot. And so this tells me like I'm in line. Like I even tells me that I should these StarStock A's for and two offers from 650. No, like I'm gonna make some real offers. I'm gonna go two for 10. Hey, hey now. If someone was really savvy like me, maybe they got him back way back in the off season when they could have bought that card for $3 to $5 and they'll take 10 for it. But that's a pretty decent offer. I came within, you know, 70% of his asking price on those two at $13.99. So we'll see. I'll let that sit there. Now you could miss out. I could miss out. People could come and grab them at $13.99, but I'll let those sit there. Oh, you're not seeing that. Sorry. Let me stop that. Stop. I forget that this doesn't. It only shares specific tabs. I guess I have to share the whole screen. Let me go back to that. Bam. Guys, what I just did that you missed me do was I made two offers. I made two offers. Let's see if it'll show my offers. Yeah, there it is. I made two offers on those Derrick Henry Select after doing that research on eBay at $10, and you have two at listed at $13.99. See if that guy will take them. If not, I may come back in here and buy them at $13.99 even. Let's go back and another guy that I was just talking about. Michael Pittman Jr. Which one thing I did not put in my video was that Michael Pittman Jr. is the son of Michael Pittman, the massive bicep running back that we had with the Buccaneers there for a little bit, won a Super Bowl with the Bucs actually back in 2002. And so his dad was a prolific running back there for a time. And that was one little historical tidbit I didn't include in my video. I actually thought about it while I was editing it, to be fair. No excuses, but I thought about it while I was editing it, but I didn't have, the time to go back and add it in. And there was so much other overwhelming positive evidence to invest in this guy. And what in the actual 7 card types? Wow, okay. Somebody bought all of his base Donruss, and is that what I'm seeing here? This is strange. Okay. So somebody bought all of his base Donruss. Maybe if I take out the junior? Let me see something. Okay. Yeah, I take out the junior. Even though it says junior on the card. There it is. So check this out, guys. Look at this. The Mosaic is still selling. 118 in the vault, 24 for sale, but 68 StarStock A's, 12 for sale from $4. Latest sale, $1.25. So I come here and look at the chart, and I'm like, okay, Monday, November 30th, 3 StarStock A's, $3.99, 4.4. Somebody was just buying them at face value there for what they're selling for. And then somebody came and took an offer at $1.25 today. That was today. So you can look at the Mosaic Silver. It's good prices really across the board, but That's pretty interesting. So if I click on the buyer offer button, obviously we have 68 in the vault, only 12 for sale. So this guy that's got two at 450, two at 4, he could have another 20 in his vault. You don't know. But all things being considered, if you look at okay, so we're looking at Michael Pittman, right? We're going back to the marketplace. Let's look at some other alpha wide receivers that have emerged out of the 2020 class. Mosaic Chase Claypool is now up to 2 for sale from $19.99 at $20. Huge disparity, huge variance there. Not many because Mosaic's a tough grade. He's on the only undefeated team left in the NFL. He's kind of emerged as their go-to there besides Deontay and Juju, which Juju's having a really quiet year. And it's a contract year for Juju, so we'll see what happens next year. It's going to be really interesting. Juju's another guy I like just holding on to long term because I still think he's a really good wide receiver. All right, so we saw what happened to Chase Claypool's mosaic on here. Supply and demand, y'all. What's going on with Justin Jefferson? $7.99, 11 for sale from $8.50. Latest sale $7.99. Still double what Michael Pittman's are at. And I feel just as good about investing in Michael Pittman Jr. as I do Justin Jefferson. 11 for sale, there's less. There's about half of what they have, though. 11 for sale from $8.50. Click on that buyer offer. Always want to click on that buyer offer to give yourself an idea of how they step up and how many are listed at each tier. So then you can also see that's 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 11 for sale. You see how they step up. But there's 38 in the vault. It just gives you more intel, more ammunition to make an educated decision on where to buy at. And that's not bad. That's not bad, especially compared to where you see what's going on. Justin Jefferson, I think, is going to continue to trend upward. But I mean, okay, so let's look at arguably the best wide receiver to come out of the draft. But his team has really floundered because of Dak Prescott injury, defensive woes. We got 45 in the vault, 18 for sale from 7. Latest sale of 520. I click on that buyer offer button, and 1 at 7, 2 at 9. You definitely step up a little bit more. 5 at 9.99, and I go down to his chart, and you can see how it's just dropped. Even though he had that incredible touchdown grab, and it's like, okay, CeeDee Lamb is going to be elite for years, dude. He's good. He's really good. His best comparable player is Jerry Rice. That's comparing athletic metrics, core athletic metrics, height, weight, playing style, whole 9 yards. And just totally tanked. But the good news is, like, if you go and click on his actual name, it'll bring you to his page where it shows all his different variations, right? 194 trades. 194 trades. So if we go back to Chase Claypool and go to Chase Claypool, click on his name and go to his 168. So CeeDee Lamb has been traded more often than Chase Claypool. And it's probably because Chase Claypool really didn't emerge onto the scene till they're like week 4, week 5, when he had that 4 touchdown game. That may have even been like week 6. And then you look at Justin Jefferson, click on his name, 274 trades. So he blows both of those guys out of the water. So get that. And his cards are at $7.99. 11 for sale for $8.50. Definitely need to be putting some offers. I thought I had some of these, actually. Oh, I do. I'm selling. I've listed one for 19.99, but 8.59, 13. So yeah, like I'm gonna put in. What I'll do here is put in 2 offers for 7.50. Boom. Reasonable, very reasonable. Could see someone taking them. Compared to what the other offers are in the system, people want to move the card. You got to think like selling it for 7.50 on StarStock would be comparable to selling it for $10 on eBay or ComC because of the fees, the increased fees that you pay on their platforms. So, I'm sure I got more cards to list. Like I've got a ton of cards to list. I'm gonna pop back over here to the chat in just a second. See, I clicked on unlisted, and it's bringing me up to cards that I clearly have listed. 102, 102. Like I only want to see cards that are 0. So that was the card I just bought. Or wait, did someone buy one of my? Wait a minute. Are you guys buying my cards as I'm listing them? Did someone buy my Derrick Henry? No, okay. Wait. Buy, no, I put in an offer. Wait, sold. Let me go to sold. Someone just bought my Derrick Henry. 14.99. All right, who was it? Chase is the truth. What's going on? Rodney Moore, man, in the house. I'm gonna try and guess who bought my Derrick Henry just now for 14.99. I think it was Gaming God. No, he already left. That sounds like yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's like they should pay Dak now. He had to put up with all their shit and break his ankle. Ah, there he is. You're the other suspect I would have guessed. Braden, Green Bay the pack opener. That's funny, dude. That's funny. I was like, wait a minute, I thought I had 2. Oh man, that was funny. All right, so Green Bay the pack got my Derrick Henry. So now I got to pivot because there's 6 for sale from 15. There's still those 2 at 13. No, wait. So does something do I need to refresh my screen? Okay, there they go. Yeah, I did need to refresh my screen. Yeah. So 1 at 15, then it jumps up to 3, 22.95, 25.50. Y'all making moves. Yeah, look, man. Them StarStock, was that you too, Braden? those 13.99s just disappeared. The 14 disappeared. My 14.99 disappeared. It's on to the 15. And the crazy thing is once that 15 disappears, it goes up to 22.95, 25, and 50. As we just saw on eBay, this card is selling around $20. And there's only 17 cards in the vault. Select has a lower print run. You actually go to Derrick Henry's profile, 156 trades, solid, but he comes from a rookie year 2016. They weren't printing nearly as much, especially like the prisms. We know for a fact all those rookies were silvers. They weren't printing nearly as much. The selects not printed nearly as much, and we've seen. You can go look at the PSA pop reports on the 2016 cards, PSA 10s, compared to the 2019 Prism cards, PSA 10s. It's an astronomical difference in that pop report. I should do a video and just like look at that, but I've seen other guys do videos and put out content showing that, it's crazy. If you look at the difference between a Kyler Murray and like a Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes or something, it's the pop reports totally different. It's always worth it to go into their player and like scroll down, because you know how StarStock takes autograph cards and stuff like that. You never know what you're gonna find. Like I got that Colin Johnson 1/50 for $2. Never know what you're gonna find down at the bottom of their player list. There's an insert there. Collegiate, press proof blue. There's a premier level. So check this out. Somebody took a $15 offer. Only one left, one for sale at 30. Dang. What the? That's interesting. A premier. One for sale at an A. Two offers. Latest sale 15. Shoot. I'll throw in a $15 offer. You never know. Five offers from. Well, cool. Thanks for buying my card, man. I guess I should have listed it higher. But now I've got to go in here and sell my other card. And now I'm going to put it. Now I'm going to sell this one at, or list it at, $24.99. Confirm. And oh, dang. Snap. Maybe I should cancel that. You guys are gobbling them up. 15. Manipulating the Derrick Henry market right before my eyes. I gotta refresh my screen just to keep up with the purchases on the Derrick Henrys. Now they start at $22.94. So boom, they just jumped up. I had a feeling somebody was gonna grab that 15. I was thinking about it. And I've got two offers, so my offers at 10 are, I mean, I'll leave them, but they're not going to accept that. So they would be crazy to accept that. That was fun. Angel got one. I sent in several Mem auto cards, a few RPAs as well. Mahomes, okay, let's look at Patrick Mahomes. I think I saw that question earlier, because it's like, has Mahomes did take a dip this year, guys, and you know, especially in the midst of Russell Wilson having such a great start to his season, Mahomes definitely took a dip. I mean, he came into the season obviously the most expensive, the hottest card on the market in football, and surprising that there's even actually any cards on here at all. Look at that. I mean, people are fighting over a StarStock B. One in the vault, none for sale. And this is, we're talking a base cardboard Donruss, y'all. A PSA 9 for 500, StarStock B 7 in the vault, 2 for sale from $145.99, latest sale of $100. You look at the chart though, this one they even pulled in ungraded, so they're pulling in from eBay. PSA 8, I mean, shoot. Look, Brad, if you had Patrick Mahomes rookie cards, you didn't have to worry. If you get PSA 7s or 8s, man, you still are going to make some cheddar. StarStock B, StarStock A's, there, just not that many of them. StarStock 9s. But yeah, we can really, there's a lot of data points on that 9. So let's go back and look at that 9. Look at that 9, the chart on that 9. You could see how it dipped. Look at that. Dipped almost $200 about a month ago. It was hovering around that $200 level the whole month of October, coming off of all the hype from September. They had a bye week. They just, Russell Wilson was really taking off there in October, and Mahomes was taking a back seat to that, even though he was quietly, giving Tyreek Hill piggyback rides down the sidelines because they're just waltzing through games. But yeah, this is what's interesting. If you see this PSA 9 on eBay, 277 and 280, but on here you only got one for 500, and you've got an offer for 300. So, okay, so you're telling me if I go to eBay right now and I can find a Patrick Mahomes for $270, 280 bucks, I could guarantee myself that I'm going to make $20, potentially more because there's only one here. You never know if you came in here and listed one for 350, 400. Things to look at, guys. Being creative like that. And he has had 340 trades in the last 3 months, which is incredible to me considering how scarce his cards are. I mean, even a StarStock C one for sale from 800, and it's probably got like chipped corners, you know, abrased edges. But we gotta look at this real quick. I gotta stop that. I gotta share this and go to eBay and see what kind of, because I've been really tempted to pull the trigger on a Patrick Mahomes. And if I could guarantee myself that I'm going to make, easy profit on a graded Patrick Mahomes card, if there is any. Oh, whoops. I put in 2016. My bad. Did I do that? All right. There we go. What is that, an optic? Well, they didn't even have optics on there. Shit. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. There's a comp PSA 9. It's SGC, but you pop back over to StarStock. Let's buy it now for 250. If I come back over to StarStock, I know PSA 9's going for 300 guaranteed because there's an offer in the system for 300. But think about it. SGC comparable to PSA 9. You come over to, you buy this off of eBay, and you list it on StarStock for 350. I mean, depending on how much you want to hold on to it, I'd be so tempted to just put this on my wall. But I mean, shit, this card was viewed 69 times in the last hour. I'm not surprised if one of you guys buy it. But dang, that's a good deal. That's a good deal right there. That's a premium, like guaranteed profit. Guaranteed profit, can't lose money right there. I don't know, that looks really shady. I wouldn't even that looks like a scam. See if there's anything else. Even this. Boom, StarStock opportunity, because as we just saw, I mean, it's got even a StarStock B, that's all they have. And this looks pretty damn good. I would say B at worst case. There's definitely not a C, Starting bid 110. Oh, okay, this is a bid. Sorry. I got to go back and refine my thing. So I just want to look at buy it nows. There's a 249. I can't believe that SGC down there. I thought it was. Yeah, I am on buy it nows. Yeah, it is. It says 150. Oh, but he's also got it in an auction, but you can buy it now for 150. There's another raw one. Buy it now for 249. And when you got an SGC 9 in a 199, 248, 489, 699, 349. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to stop the live stream now so I can go check out with that card. Why is there $10 shipping on this? What the heck kind of friggin' package are you putting this in? Yeah, one little white chip, but I bet you still get a StarStock B on this. 185. And if you saw the StarStock A's, we're selling for 200 guaranteed on StarStock. There's one offer from 180, and the StarStock Bs are selling from at 100. So, you know, that's the only thing. That's why, though, you buy that graded one for 250, easy money. What's up, Alex? You think they'll start charging a storage fee in the future? I mean, so I've had people tell me that at one point back in the day, ComC was also free to list, and they eventually got so big that they started charging fees to list, to grade. Grading on ComC is optional, and now it's like $4, and they give you some BS raw grading that I would never recommend doing. So it's possible, man. Once they get big enough, that's why I say take advantage of it now while you can, as much as you can. Stack those Herberts. Love that, Rodney. Yes, sir. Stack those Herberts. He's going to be good for a long time, man. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Derrick Henry. Mahomes is unbelievable. I just showed you guys the investment of the night. Whoever wants to make some guaranteed money on Mahomes, if I don't get to it, if it's still there when I get off this live stream, yeah. Angel says, wait, I'm going to go back to, I want to answer this question with Psycho. I read an article recommending Patrick Mahomes 2018 base cards. Thoughts? Yeah, I think anytime that a player's rookie card gets too expensive for a lot of people to invest in, i.e. Patrick Mahomes being, you look at his rookie Prism selling for $1,500. Most of us normal people are not going to spend that much on one card because I can buy so many, I can flip so many lower cards before I build up to that level of, my bankroll in card investing I would want it to be like $20,000-$30,000 before I feel comfortable spending $1,000 to $1,500 on one card. All right. And so most of us don't have that bankroll at our disposal. So we go to the second year card. I mean, if a guy's going to be an all-time Hall of Famer, all-time great like Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Peyton Manning, then yeah, any year of that guy's card, if it's a Prism or a Select or a nice Chrome card, it's collectible. And if it's collectible, then you can invest in it. And if you can invest in it, then you can certainly flip it. So I've seen that happen. You look at guys like Drew Brees, a prime example. His rookie card goes all the way back to 2001 or maybe it was 2006. Sorry, guys, 2006. Oh, maybe it is 2001 as a rookie year. I'm drawing a blank. I think it is 2001. But yeah, God Sport Cards. I do have a video on how to submit cards to StarStock. I actually go step by step on how to submit cards to StarStock because that's how I got started in the StarStock. I'd buy from all these other sources, eBay, Beckett Marketplace, and I even bought a bunch of cards on Facebook Marketplace. Trying to think of what else. Yeah, I bought a bunch of cards on ComC. I'm going to come out with a video soon, guys, but I'm done with ComC, guy. I mean, I've actually requested shipment today of a ton of cards, and I couldn't believe what they were trying to charge me for shipping and handling, because the cheapest option, which they were still trying to charge me $6 for, on like, I don't even know, I have like 260 cards in their inventory, and they were only allowing me to have like 47 shipped to me. So I was like, all right, I'll take the 47 rookie cards, football rookie cards I could send to StarStock. And I was going to request shipping, and they want to charge me $5, and I wasn't going to get the cards till March of next year. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So if I want to get them by the end of this year, it was going to be like $16.99. I'm like, Jesus, dude, I might as well just pay the $20, get them now, because some of them are autograph cards that I want to submit through StarStock on the next PSA group PSA submission that they do. I'm excited about. Yeah, check it out, guy. It's the video with the thumbnail how to flip, and it's just titled StarStock tutorial. And the first part of the video, I talk a little bit about picking a player, but then I go directly into how to submit your cards to StarStock, and it hasn't changed. That process hasn't changed, and if it does, and when it does, I'll create an updated video. Angel wants to know, do you think they will start to allow older cards? Yeah, that's not really their business model, Angel, as far as like veterans like Peyton Manning's, stuff like that, like older guys, basketball, Kobe's, Magic Johnson, Shaq's, that whole kind of stuff. That's not really their business model. They want to be more the online, stock market for sports card of current sports cards. They want to be almost like a swing trading or day trading platform where they're correlated heavily with the player's performance. And without player performances to move those cards, those Hall of Famer cards, those vintage cards are great. I think they have incredible long-term investment value. We've seen that. Gary Vee's talked about it. A lot of other really smart content creators. My boy Brad from Comeback has talked about it. Those vintage cards, yes, they're the safe investments. They have great long-term investment value. They go up slowly. You're not going to lose money, but at the same time, they don't really move that fast unless there's something relevant going on. Like he's moving a lot of Kobe's, Bryant's right now. That's because Kobe's got a documentary coming up. Kobe's becoming very relevant with the increased demand in basketball, and then that parlays into vintage. Kobe being one of the greatest of all time, documentary coming up, all this and that. He's moving them. So same thing we could see with Peyton Manning coming up. I have a few Peyton Manning rookie cards that I'd like to get graded, and should have done it already, and I need to do it because Peyton Manning should be inducted into the Hall of Fame this upcoming induction ceremony. You're going to see Peyton Manning prices spike at the time right before that induction, because hype is going to be built up around Peyton Manning. We're going to see him on TV. He's going to be relevant. He's also arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. And so then he's going to become relevant again. But StarStock doesn't want to wait around for those moments to when those Hall of Famers move, those slow trickle ups. They want to have a lot of volume. They want to have movement. They want to have cards that move. So that's why they focus on rookie cards. Those are the primary targets, and current players. I don't know, Rodney, man. You think they're... Yay, what's up, Luke? What's going on, man? I don't know, man. So I feel like Wentz might be a sinking ship. Yeah, I like the guy. I mean, he showed a lot of toughness and grit this year. I can't believe he hasn't got injured. He stuck through it, man. And he stuck through it. And I've lost confidence in Doug Peterson as a coach. And I don't know if he's going to see what he's got in Jalen Hurts and make a move there, because Carson's contract is coming up, and it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I absolutely am. It's probably going to be in January though, because they just so StarStock, for you guys, if you don't know, StarStock just finished their first PSA group submission. So it just ended yesterday, according to their Twitter. I don't know if they've extended it at all, but I think they ended it yesterday. You could have sent any StarStock A cards from your collection and sent them, filled out this form, this Google form, given it to them. They would have taken $30 out of your account. That's the downside. They only had one option. It was the economy 20-day turnaround. We're all questionable to see what that 20-day turnaround turns out to be. I'm also curious to see what happens with Nat Turner and Collectors Universe with the PSA acquisition, to see if that's going to bring PSA submission turnaround times back to a normal level, to a decently acceptable level, to where when it's a 20-day service that you're paying for, $30 a card, you're actually getting that 20-day service, and it's not turning from 20-day to 5 months, or whatever the case is. Nice. Very nice, Mike. So yeah, I think that StarStock is going to have a more formal of a form, a little bit, because they are very savvy software guys. I think they're going to build a better form into their website, a continuous tab on the top that says PSA submission. So you could pretty much, from the time this submission ends to the one time they do the next one, they have these little windows where you just go to a tab and you can just kind of like trickle cards in there as you get them and you buy them. You buy a new one, you get a good deal on a StarStock A Mosaic, you want to send it in. Maybe you only want to do the bare minimum, the $12 one or something. Because for me, that's what I want to do in January, February. I'm fine with doing like the 5-month one. I get it back in July. That's a card, that a StarStock A Mosaic of a Tua or a Herbert, or any of these wide receivers that I mentioned, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins. I wouldn't talk about him a whole lot, but he's definitely an elite as well. Michael Pittman Jr., guys I'm not mentioning, Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 2020 rookie class is very deep. And any of those StarStock A's, I would love to submit to PSA in January, February, have them come back around July. Perfect time. Boom. List them on the site as PSA, July, August. If it's anything like it was at the beginning of this season, it's going to be an all-out feast in the beginning of September next year. I want to be ready for that. I want to be more prepared for it next year than I was this year. And because that's like how like the guys that work on the oil rigs, or those like big deep sea tuna fishers, they go out there like 2 weeks a year and they collect a ton of fish, and they make like 20 30 grand or whatever, and then they take a break for 6 months. Like, I feel like at least this season, that's what football card investing was like. Yeah, you catch a fish here and there throughout the season right now, but most of our money was made right at the beginning of the season. Those 2 weeks right when the season started, it was on like Donkey Kong, and we were just pulling fishes in left and right, man. And there were some big ass tunas, right? So I want to be more ready for it next year, and just like boom, just like really be just super stocked up, super ready to go, everything on point for the beginning of the season next year. How many of those StarStock tuna A's? StarStock tuna A's in the PSA? Oh, turn it into A's. PSA 10 should be interesting. Yeah, man, that's why I think they've been so stingy. I know it's upset a bunch of people. JJ Bama definitely expressed his honest opinion about it, about the grading, because he feels like he has a good eye for grading. He's been doing it for a long time. He sent in a bunch of cards. A lot of them came back B's and only a few A's. I've noticed that the ratio of B's to A's has increased, and sometimes I feel like maybe they're grading cards so quick in their back office, before they're putting them in their vault, because their volume of traffic, people submitting cards to them has increased so much. If they see any little blemish at all, then they're putting it straight to a B. Herps. Okay. What's going on, Herps? Herps. All right. I'm going to pull up and kind of show you guys my biggest sleepers. I think Michael Pittman Jr. is definitely one of my biggest sleepers, and his card prices are still very competitive. From a running back standpoint, man, it's like if you're talking long-term investment, I really like where DeAndre Swift, I really like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire is being slept on big time right now. And the guy's going to be possibly Super Bowl relevant. I mean, who's going to stop the Chiefs, right? The Steelers? I don't know. I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to steamroll right to another Super Bowl at this point. That's what it looks like. But so he's a sleeper because his prices are still very good. Now, I wouldn't be targeting his Prism. I'd be going after his Mosaic or an Optic or his Optic when that comes out, or is like an Optic rated rookie preview. But he's definitely a sleeper. And he's not even really a sleeper, but his cards are being slept on, right? His cards are being slept on. Yeah, Jordan Love, long term. Jordan Love, long term. I like that pick, Luke. For sure, for sure. One thing I'll do real quick while we're here is I'm gonna pull up my sheets that I sent out earlier today. Now, there's only two things that I have missing from these sheets that I really want to get added in, and as I said in the email earlier, I've had to prioritize in task, right? Making videos, everything else. So it hasn't been where I want it to be. But if we look at wide receiver, for example, and let me go here, stop, share, Chrome tab, Denzel Mims, yes. Yes, Denzel Mims, yes. I talked about him earlier in this live stream, Herps. Great price points right now on Denzel Mims. Definitely can get on some Denzel Mims. Because beginning of next season, next year, I think Denzel. Oh, man. I got to plug this thing in. I wasn't prepared for that. So, guys, let's see. So this is the sheet. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom in. Where's the zoom? View. Zoom. Yeah, but I'm gonna be like, boom. Okay. So we want to like sort by who's got the biggest catch radius. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that don't have that information for. But Denzel Mims, his catch radius is up there with Julio Jones. So, dude, big Mike Evans. Mike Evans has got freakishly long arms. So, talk about huge catch radius. Looking for a shorter guy, Tyreek Hill, man. Tyreek Hill's another guy. I still think his cards are going to continue to rise. If you're looking for a flip opportunity, we talked about Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, quarterback. I showed you guys a couple of opportunities even on the current GOAT right now, P. Mahomes. I definitely have bought Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's cards are very underpriced right now. Long term, the guy's still very young, and he's incredible, man. Super mobile. He's got the Konami code, highly accurate, highly mobile. If we just look at like current opportunity right now, look at routes run or air yards, which are basically it's the full potential of routes run with the targets. So intended targets. So if we look at from that standpoint, I love still investing in Allen Robinson. I think he's elite. He's on the Bears. The Bears have struggled with quarterback woes. So that's where his struggle is, man. He needs a quarterback, but he's excellent. He's excellent, guys. Tyler Lockett is definitely slept on in the shadow of DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett's still very good, still very much relevant. Juju Smith-Schuster, dudes, is definitely a sleeper when you look at his card prices because he's only 24 years old, guys. Big catch radius, big body wide receiver. And the guy is just he's very good, but he's being slept on, especially in card prices. And his contract will be up this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to Juju Smith-Schuster. Same thing with Chris Godwin. His contract will be up this year. Oh, okay. You can hear me now. Excellent. Excellent. I think we got cut off. What happened was it was Marquez Valdez Stinkling that wine is taking over. Yeah, maybe. It's only one glass, but you guys got me going on the football cards, and I got too excited. You know what I'm saying? So nice. All right, y'all. What any specific? I know we were looking at the sheets. Let's see if I still got the sheet up. Lightweight for sure, Angel. I don't drink very often anymore, and earlier in COVID, it was getting a little out of control because there's not a whole lot to do. And I started drinking like every night. I'm like, whoa, I better slow it down. So come back to once, really like responsible once or twice a week. And that's definitely made me way more of a lightweight, but feel pretty good right now. We were looking at wide receivers, height adjusted, speed score, routes run, air yards, yards after catch. We come in here and we sort by yards after catch. See, this is a productivity metric, so it's going to show us Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, #1. So Cooper Kupp, he's also been really good. Keenan Allen's another guy. He's got football cards that are being slept on. I think a big reason because of that is because of his rookie year being back in 2014, which is the same as Mike Evans. And they just printed so many damn different sets and parallels that year. It was crazy. Same thing with Robert Woods. Same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. 2013, 2014. They really went ham with the rookie cards. The different sets, because you got to think about it. At that point, you had Panini in the game. You still had Topps in the game. You had Bowman in the game. Select. You had everybody and their brother making football cards at that point. And they were all, vying for that top spot. Ultimately, Panini came out to contract with the NFL. So, but these are guys that we already know about that are on top. We want to find guys that are sleepers. So the way I do that is I look at their air yards. And I could look at guys like Calvin Ridley. I know his cards are on the up and up a little bit, but not really a guy I'm targeting right now. I haven't really targeted him since before the season, only because I made a ton of money on him. I made a ton of money on him at the beginning of the season, and it's like I don't want to go back to that well right now because I'll just lose money because I made a bunch of money on him. I don't know. It's just kind of like my thought process there. We know DK Metcalf's already on top. His Prism's like up to $80, and it's a 2019. And Tyreek Hill's at the same level, and his is a 2016. So I'd be buying Tyreek Hill's over DK Metcalf, me personally, because I think that just Tyreek Hill, I mean, it's not that he's a better athlete than DK. He may be a little bit faster. And he's just, man, I don't think anybody's going to stop the Chiefs. They just got the whole package, dude. They just got the whole package. They got the whole package. Seattle's close. Russell Wilson is very, very good. Do not get me wrong. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be close to MVP, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to get it. It's one of those things. Jerry Jeudy, definitely. He struggled with injuries, so you could say he's a sleeper right now. 2020 rookie. A lot of air yards. Routes run. Let me go to running back, data analysis. It's amazing what Christian McCaffrey has done, even with all his injuries this year. Yeah, I want to look at total touchdowns because I know Derrick Henry. Yeah, it was Dalvin Cook has 2 more than Derrick Henry. But Dalvin Cook now kind of struggling with a little injury there. I think he's going to be all right. But Derrick Henry he's on track for a 2,000-yard season. 1257, crazy. We look at evaded tackles, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. So it's a scenario where you go, okay, what's Dalvin Cook's cards trading at? And so you pop over to StarStock, you pop over to eBay, you see what Dalvin Cooks are compared to Derrick Henry. They should be very comparable. And if they're not, if there's disparity there, then you buy one or the other player because it should come up. This exact same philosophy that my boy Brad, the comeback, showed me in basketball. This is where I got this mindset from. He showed me in basketball with a guy like Damian Lillard. And he told me it's same thing. Like his cards should be higher than what they are based on his performance, but they're not just because he's on the Portland Trail Blazers or whatever the case may be. But what happened? Dame time came around and the guy blew up and your boy comeback cashed in, made a small fortune off of Damian Lillard, and I made some decent money on I made a couple $100 on ComC on his cards as well. And obviously it's not going to go as crazy with football yet because we don't have the people in the football card market like basketball that we need, but it's going to get there, guys. Like I said at the beginning, I'm stubborn. I'm persistent. I'm going to keep plugging away at this, and we're going to keep growing, and we're going to keep getting more people into football cards, and it's going to help all of us out. It's going to be good for all of us, dude, because not only it's going to help your collection, your personal collection, it's going to help the investment value and the collection value of all your cards, not just your Patrick Mahomes, your Tom Brady, your Russell Wilson, your Justin Herbert, all these guys. Antonio Gibson's up there. Like, Antonio Gibson's badass. And look at that speed score, 122.8. That's what I talk about. 99th percentile speed score, 22.5 years old. Jump on him now. That's why his cards have been going up. That and his dominator rating, 31.9%. Look at his receiving yards, though, too. Receiving yards, very good. Look at Kamara. Just a disproportionate number of receiving yards compared to anybody else in the NFL. That's because, the Saints' offensive scheme and Drew Brees being the best screen game quarterback in the history of the NFL right there. So those are some of the guys that you definitely want to take a look at. Even Nick Chubb, down here, Nick Chubb still at 25 years old. Man, with the coaching schematic and the duo right now they have in Cleveland, I love some Nick Chubb. And his evaded tackles and his breakaway runs are always at the top of the charts. Theo Riddick, I don't know why he's up there because he's like goose eggs across the board. He probably hasn't even played hardly at all. But look at, and this is skewed because Christian McCaffrey had only played a few games, but when he was playing, he was evading approximately 9.3 tackles per game. So, for example, Dalvin Cook, 7.5 evaded tackles per game. Very good. But look at Nick Chubb, number 3 in the NFL, right there. 7.1 evaded tackles per game. Right behind them, no surprise, Derrick Henry. And Right here, this is breakaway runs. So these are runs over 15 yards. And these are breakaway runs per game. And who's got the most? Nick Chubb. So the guy's a highlight reel machine, dude. And if his prices have dipped at all, like if they've dipped a decent amount, buy. That's another one, you know. And you guys even saw him pop up on the most traded tab on StarStock. So people are starting to move. If you can find good prices and it's on that upswing, jump on it. Jump on it. In my professional opinion. So let me pop through the tight end data analysis and kind of see what we can see. One guy I really like on the tight end data analysis is Hunter Henry. In the scenario he's in, 26 years old, height adjusted speed score over 100. He's running a lot of routes. He's getting a pretty decent amount of targets per game. He's also partnered up with Justin Herbert, which we know right now is shooting those laser beams. So, and he's got a smash matchup tomorrow that I think they're going to bounce back. Another guy that I really like that you see top of the charts right here is Hunter Henry. 23.4 years old, second-year player. Only problem is he's in Detroit. What's going to happen to Matt Stafford? Could Detroit draft a Trevor Lawrence or somebody next year? We'll see. It's possible. They really need to tank their season, which is why I think the Bears should just steamroll over them tomorrow. But I really like TJ Hawkinson. That guy's got the athletic profile to be a Kelsey or a Kittle. Of course, Kelsey's topping. Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, they're topping all the charts. Look at Darren Waller's height-adjusted speed score. And a lot of these guys don't have, so just ignore those guys. But you come down to the first one, metrics on Darren Waller, boom. Greg Olsen, 35.8, but he's on the Seahawks. He's banged up with injury right now. O.J. Howard, if he could ever stay healthy, guy's an incredible athlete. Jimmy Grant, 34, not touching it just because of his age. Jared Cook, same thing, not touching it because of his age. Noah Fant, definitely like him. I wish Denver had a better quarterback. I think Drew Lock's a bust, which is why I sold his cards at the beginning of the season. I had a feeling he was not who a lot of people thought he was. And I think he's decent, but is he ever going to be at an elite level? I don't think so. Another guy in Miami I really like, Mike Gesicki. So there's some tight ends. Definitely consider targeting there. Young guys, good athletes. You look at the quarterback data analysis, I think we've seen here, my favorite sleeper on this entire chart is right here, this guy, Deshaun Watson, right now, because his prices are really good. He's only 25 years old. And look at his let's look at his passing touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes right there, 30, 31, 33. Tom Brady, though, not far behind. Passing yards, look at the top. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. But these are the metrics I like to look at. And that went way down. And these guys, yeah, you see these is skewed because these are NAs and then 100. And these guys are limited play, so it's going to be skewed. We have to go down. There's Russell Wilson. This is pressured completion percentage. So if you use that, you can scroll and see what all the words say. Pressured completion percentage. And Ben Roethlisberger has been really good. Russell Wilson's been good. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been good. That's why we call him Fitzmagic, dude. As he stands in the pocket, you can hit him as hard as you want. He's going to push the ball down the field, right? Cam Newton's actually up there. He's just sucked in a lot of other categories. But then clean pocket. You look at clean pocket, and this is where I talk about where Lamar Jackson's really struggled. Look how far down the totem pole Lamar Jackson is on clean pocket and pressured completion. Lamar Jackson's completion percentages, period, have not been good, guys. Not been good at all. Some people could say, needs more help wide receiver. He's got freaking Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the league. Marquise Brown, I mean, I don't know. He's okay. He had a really good rookie year this year, kind of busty a little bit. Miles Boykin. I just think a lot of it's on Lamar Jackson as well. It takes two to tango there. And he's really struggled. But you look at the best clean pocket completion guys and the guys that have actually been playing the entire season, my man Deshaun Watson right at the top. I mean, so accurate, so accurate. Total QBR, he's right up there, top 10. And that's where Mahomes, though, shines. Just all around goodness. Just all around goodness. Solid, positive 14 on the supporting cast efficiency. He's just a complete package on a complete team with good coaching, the whole 9 yards, which is why he's most likely going to win the MVP. And a couple rushing touchdowns to boot. So, boom. There's my biggest sleepers. Drew, not a lock. Gibson is awesome. Yes, love these. Why is Claypool's Mosaic StarStock have 9 A's and 58 B's? Dude, Gerald, I know. It's because Mosaic is a tough grade, dude. And StarStock A's are like coveted. StarStock A Mosaics, people are buying them and like receiving them because they want to get them graded. You know, and now you can pretty much hear they just finished their first submission, but to PSA, but they're going to be doing more often. You'll be able to submit those right through there. But that's why you don't see, because mosaics are a tough grade, and people are assuming that a StarStock A is going to transfer over to a PSA 9 or 10. So they're like, hell yeah. And they were at good prices. But what happened to Sony Michel, man? He busted. Yeah, Nick Chubb is, I think he's going to go down great. I was sad to see him hurt his knee this year, but this year's been weird, man. No preseason. I've talked to other guys about this. I'm actually looking forward to a preseason. I think that's going to be a lot better for football cards, because think about this, guys. All the guys that were sleepers, deep round draft picks, guys that are backups that didn't get opportunities here till week 4, 5, 6 and really get to even hear their name, they're going to be relevant in the preseason. They're going to have moments of brilliance in the preseason, which people are going to be like, oh, man, look, did you see this guy in preseason, week 1, week 2, go off, you know? And they're going to go out and buy their cards. I think there's going to be a lot more hype around cards if we have a preseason. So I'm looking forward to a preseason next year. I think that's going to be good for the football card market. And I think it's going to hopefully cut back on some of the injuries. I just don't think players were conditioned nearly as good as they should have been, because the facilities were closed down and COVID and off-season training just wasn't there. I mean, look at a lot of these people like Brad Comeback. I mean, his gym activity has been very limited because now LA is back on a stay-at-home initiative. Gyms have been closed down pretty much all year. A lot of people don't have gyms at their house. These guys were going to gyms and facilities to work out. And I do like Miles Sanders. He's just in a bad scenario. I do like Miles Sanders, though. He's solid. If you look at Miles Sanders' metrics, I think this was I was looking at Jarvis Landry. I'll pop over. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, drafted in the second round, 5'11", 211. Not a very high BMI, so a speed score is only a 103.8. I'd love to see Miles Sanders pack on some more muscle.
put on some weight, you know, be like 5'11", like 220, but then he's got to maintain that speed too. But still, 80 percentile, 40-yard dash, solid, man. Solid. These are metrics though I want to look at, like college yards per carry, not bad, 5.8. College target share, 8.4%, 63rd. SparkX, 120.3, 76. That's pretty solid. That's speed, power, agility, reaction, quickness. His best comparable, Felix Jones. Not too familiar with Felix Jones. Felix Jones, vaguely remember Felix Jones. Man, the Eagles have just struggled so, and I've had Miles Sanders on my fantasy team. He's really been hurting me this last couple weeks. Had some really good weeks in there. They've got the potential. The Eagles just, and you look at his injury fragility rating, number 49, about middle of the pack. Injury probability, about middle of the pack. So, I mean, not bad. I look at him as more of a long-term investment. But what I do like is that he's on a big market team, Philadelphia, and he's got really good metrics there, really good workout metrics across the board. Solid. Yeah, man. Chubb and Kareem Hunt. What up? Counter proof. Chubb and Kareem Hunt will both go over 1,000 yards this year. Book it. Right on. I believe it, man. Let's see what Genius Graphics said. Should we be focusing on player-based rookie cards like they do in basketball, baseball over parallel, since only QB position seems to hold weight? Are you talking about QBs or are you talking about skill positions? Because certainly I think you could target base rookie cards. Like if you want to make sure that card's liquid, make sure you're able to move that card when you buy it. The easiest way to do that is to invest in a base Prism, right? Or a base Donruss, or a base Optic, or a base Select. That's pretty much the standard across the board from what I've seen. But there's definitely a lot of like autographed cards. Like autographed cards hold value long term really well. And if you can find autographed cards of good skill position athletes for cheap and they're in really good condition and they've got a jersey patch and an autograph, something like that, low print run, and you can get that card for like $10 to $20, dude, do that. Otherwise, yeah, I personally like sticking with the base rookie variations of the premium sets, you know, the Donruss, Mosaic, Select, Prism, Optic. But if you find the RPAs, then you're open to Origins, Contenders, Immaculate, National Treasures, you know, these other sets that are really good sets for RPAs, autograph stuff. All right, guys. Whoa, I can't believe we've been on here for over 2 hours. Dude, this has been fun, man. This has been a blast. You guys kick ass, man. You guys make this a lot of fun. You're on the other end chatting. This is good stuff. Stay tuned, man. I'm actually on PTO this upcoming week for my day job, and so I plan on putting in a lot. It's going to be all family, football, and YouTube focused. And so I'm excited. I really want to churn up the frequency of my content here going for the rest of the season. And because there's so many changes that StarStock is making. So I want to make update videos. I want to continuously stay in front of what they're doing. And also I want to continuously stay in front of what's going on in the NFL and what opportunities we have. And timing. I mean, timing is everything, guys. So stay tuned, man. And y'all can expect a video from me early this upcoming week. I look forward to seeing y'all there. Thank you to everybody, every single one of you guys who joined this live stream tonight. You guys kick ass, man. I hope you guys have a good night and enjoy the games tomorrow. All right. Peace. Cheers.